Welcome to an overview of pilot wages. In this presentation, we'll cover three areas initially. What is percent of captain pay? What is formula pay? How are the changes that took place to percent of captain pay in 2011 impacting first officer and relief pilot wages today? The second half will look at the non-formula pay pilot, namely flat salary pilots in their first 4 years. Let's get started. Percent of captain pay, or PCP. What is it and why do we care? Formula pay is what is used to determine captain pay. Percent of captain pay, which is displayed here, is then used to determine first officer and relief pilot pay. This slide shows percent of captain pay for 8 other airlines in North America alongside ACPA. As you can see, we are an outlier when it comes to percent of captain pay. The ACPA collective agreement pays between 48 and 58.5% of captain pay to first officers, whereas percent of captain pay at airlines south of the border tops out as high as 70.9%. On average, a 12-year first officer in the U.S. receives 68% of captain pay. This needs to be emphasized. This is not a wage comparison with carriers south of the border. This is a percent of captain pay comparison only, more specifically highlighting that ACPA first officers and relief pilots are paid a lower percent of captain pay than their peers. As you can also see, no other North American airlines have relief pilots. The relief pilot position is a holdover from the second officer position and pays between 28 and 33% of captain pay for ACPA pilots. That is less than half of first officers south of the border. What is formula pay? As you can see from the slide, formula pay is hourly base plus hourly day or night plus hourly mileage plus hourly weight. The sum of those 4 inputs equals captain hourly pay. It's very simple. But for first officers and relief pilots, there's an additional input, percent of captain pay, or PCP. As you can see, it looks like an algebra equation. Basically, it is showing that all first officers and relief pilots get 100% of hourly base pay, just like the captain. Then hourly day or night pay, hourly mileage pay, and hourly weight pay are added together. The sum of those 3 are multiplied by percent of captain pay. Percent of captain pay has a very large impact on first officer and relief pilot wages. So why are ACPA first officers and relief pilots paid a lower percent of captain pay than their peers? One part of the answer is we still have the second officer position, now called relief pilots, and our peers don't. But there's another reason. In 2011, percent of captain pay was reduced for first officers and relief pilots. This slide shows the relevant sections of the ACPA collective agreement from 2006 and 2011. On the left, percent of captain pay in 2006 and prior. On the right, in orange, percent of captain pay 2011 to present. The 2011 reductions in percent of captain pay range from 2.7 to 10.2% for first officers and relief pilot positions. To be clear, a reduction of 10% in percent of captain pay does not equate to a 10% pay cut for a relief pilot. As the formula on the previous slide showed, it is a 10% reduction of captain pay the relief pilot will receive. Note also that first officer percent of captain pay in 2006 was front-loaded. Max PCP, percent of captain pay, was reached at year 10. In 2011, PCP was adjusted to be linear, reaching max at year 12. Later, we will see the impact this has had on first officer salary in the 7 to 10 year range. Note also, and this is important, these PCP changes are permanent. Unless renegotiated, all future pay increases for first officers and RPs will be adversely impacted. 2011 percent of captain pay reductions for ACPA first officers. First officer percent of captain pay was reduced between 2.7 and 5.7% in 2011. This chart shows the hourly pay reduction for first officers in percent that resulted from the PCP reductions. 2011 percent of captain pay reductions for ACPA relief pilots. Relief pilot percent of captain pay was reduced 10.2% across all years. This chart, like the previous, shows the hourly pay reduction for relief pilots in percent that resulted from the 2011 PCP reductions. This slide is a combination of the two previous slides, showing the percent of captain pay reduction for both first officers and relief pilots. As you can see, first officer percent of captain pay reduction changes from year to year. That is because prior to 2006, not only was PCP higher, it was also front-loaded. First officers reached max PCP in year 10 before 2011. Now it takes until year 12 to reach max PCP. Hourly pay reduction by equipment and status. Now we're going to get into how percent of captain pay reduction in 2011 impacts wallets today. For the captain, not at all, because percent of captain pay is not part of how captain wages are calculated. As you can see, no change, nice even blue bars. First officers took a 2.7 to 5.7% reduction in PCP in 2011. Because this graph is based on year 12 pay, it is showing a 2.7 reduction in hourly pay for first officers. If we had chosen a year 10 first officer, the pay reduction would have been 5.7%. Relief pilots took a 10.2% reduction in percent of captain pay, which is easily seen in this chart. Hourly pay reduction on 2021 pay rates for first officers and relief pilots. This chart shows the impact of the 2011 PCP reduction on hourly pay for 8-year first officers and relief pilots. Hourly pay reduction on 2021 pay rates for year 8. This scaled down chart shows in better detail the hourly pay reductions as a result of the percent of captain pay changes in 2011. 8-year first officer hourly pay is down about $10 an hour on average as a result of the 2011 PCP reduction. Much more drastic, an 8-year 777 relief pilot makes about $27 an hour less in 2021 as a result of the 2011 PCP reduction. Now, on to non-formula pay pilots. Year 2 percent of captain pay. Although ACPA pilots in years 1 through 4 are not on formula pay, south of the border, pilots enter formula pay after year 1. Here we have in red year 2 flat salary as a percent of year 2 captain pay. Beside it are 5 other airlines in North America and the percent of captain pay their FOs receive in year 2. Because ACPA pilots are on a fixed hourly wage in year 2 through 4, percent of captain pay decreases as captain pay increases. Year 3 percent of captain pay. Here we have in red year 3 flat salary as a percentage of year 3 captain pay. Again, beside are 5 other airlines in North America and the percent of captain pay their FOs receive in year 3. Year 4 percent of captain pay. Here we have in red year 4 flat salary as a percentage of year 4 captain pay. Beside it are 5 other airlines in North America and the percent of captain pay their FOs receive in year 4. In this presentation, we have discussed percent of captain pay and how it works within formula pay. Percent of captain pay for ACPA pilots is lower than our peers. Our peers in North America do not have relief pilots. Percent of captain pay was reduced by 2.7 to 10.2% in 2011. These reductions are permanent unless renegotiated. Percent of captain pay for non-formula pay pilots in year 2 through 4 ranges from 23.4 to 42%. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and thank you for watching. Fly safe and have a great day.